a little bit of a desire sometimes with coaches to just look at a game as a one-off, like, it didn't start from anything, it doesn't transition to anything. But I'm wondering if the game in Minnesota, which was, it was going to be a tough game, they're playing really well at home, you start your backup keeper, you're missing Sebastian Lletget and Chicharito, and you come out of there with 3 points. Does that set you up maybe going forward, because you now established that the 17 guys that are new to the team this year all have integral parts to play, that you can play without your best players who might go away for World Cup qualifying? Did that game maybe do more than just get 3 points?
Well, I think, the way we've been trying to build the team and the messaging within the group is it takes 30 guys. It takes for sure 20 guys when you go to every single game to be ready and to perform and to be ready to step in when they're called upon. And so it's important that for us to go there and with the group that we put out on the field to obviously get a result. We had some very good moments. As I've been saying to the guys, we're going to celebrate every great result, but we also have to be very honest with each other through the process of trying to get better. So we recognize the things we do well, the things that we need to continue to improve upon. We're always honest with each other on that. But I think from a mentality standpoint, it was great to be able to rest a few of our senior or veteran guys on a tough night and bring on some younger guys even to give them some experience in a difficult place to play in Minnesota, and to see them perform and do what they needed to do to get a result. So it bodes well because it creates competition in our group, which is good on the day-to-day training. And but this group is also tight, and so they support each other when somebody else's turn is up and somebody has to perform. They know they all have some responsibility in putting points in the bank for us as we move towards trying to get to the best possible playoff spot and all that stuff. So yeah, it's helpful. It builds, again, confidence for everybody, and it also creates a little bit of what do you want to call it? What's the word I'm looking for? Competition inside the group, right? Competition inside the group to keep guys sharp, and those things are all positive with it. When you're a team that wants to win and compete for things, you got to have those two things.
One more, if I may. I know a lot of players, as we mentioned, 17 new players this year. A lot of these guys weren't here last year. But do you feel there's ever been a sense of guys looking around and saying, are we really this good? I mean, look where we are in the standings. Look at the way we're playing. Are we this good? And if there has been, are they convinced now that they are as good as you guys are playing? Thanks.
Yeah, I think the group really recognizes and sees the potential within the group itself and each other and all that kind of stuff. But I also think because we've been honest through the process and we have a clear picture of what we're trying to do and what we're trying to achieve isn't just to win one game in Minnesota on the road or any one game. It's to try to establish a standard for ourselves that we're living up to every single match, and that standard has to be better than every other standard in the MLS. And so that's what we're striving for. And so I think the group sees the potential. We're seeing the development and the growth of some of our young players and some of our new players, some of our veteran players. Obviously, those who've been around this league know what it takes to win and to get results. So I think the group really feels the potential and the opportunity is there for us to be successful. But again, is very clear and honest that we still have a lot of steps that we can take as a group to reach our potential, which is the most important thing in this is that we are playing at the standard that we've set for ourselves, which is that we still have a lot of steps to get there, I believe, to really be as good as we can be.
Thank you. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. We'll go with Tom Bogert next. Tom, go ahead.
Thank you. Thanks for taking the time. Obviously, I'll ask for a quick Chicharito update if you have one.
He's back into doing some physical work on the field and things like that. He won't be available for tomorrow, but he's starting to take some of those back to playing steps that we need him to take. And so we're not going to rush him through this. We see the window of time and step by step, and he's making progress. So we're good with that.
Cool, and then one more, just what are your general thoughts going into Colorado? What do you think of them as a team, and maybe what they do well that people might not be taking notice of?
Good team. Obviously, their coach and I go way, 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 way back, and so a lot of our ideas are similar in terms of what we're trying to accomplish with our teams. They see some similarities there. One of the things that they're doing is they're an adaptable group. You can see the way Robin sets them up, that they can rotate and they can play in a 3, they can play in a 4. They have some very mobile players. They have a good, strong midfield where everybody's comfortable on the ball. They have similar principles of play that we do. So I think that there is. It's an interesting game because the two of us know each other so well. It's going to be, in some ways, how can we just unbalance each other a little bit here to create some uncertainty for our teams, for our team create some uncertainty for his team, and try to create the advantages in the game. But I think they have a good, solid, veteran, experienced team, and a couple of young guys in their team that have really made some progress over the last couple of years who have helped them. But again, I think they've earned their spot and the respect that they should be getting around the league. They've definitely earned it, and I think they have a very good and combative midfield for sure, and some other guys who can, obviously in their attack and their back line is experienced. So they're a good squad. They're a good squad, and we say that about every team that is somewhere near the top in this league, is you have to go out and you have to beat them, and you have to find the right solutions and take care of the things that they do well.
Thanks, Tom. We'll go with Josh Gressman next. Josh, go ahead.
Hey, Greg. Thanks for taking the time. Can I get some injury updates? I know Ravellison came out of the game. I don't know if there was any injury. I don't think we asked you after the game. And also the availability of Sebastian Leggett and Jorge Villafana.
Let's see. Starting Ravellison, he's okay. He had a little ankle issue in the first half, but he's fine. He's taped up. He felt fine the rest of the game. He cramped a little bit in the second half, which is the reason for the change. So he's fine. Let's see. Seba was wonderful to have him back within the group yesterday, and to see him, and he will be available for selection tomorrow. And Jorge has been training, and he's questionable. He feels good. He's been able to do some things where we're checking to see, again, it's a bone bruise type of thing, so every day he improves. But right now he's just on that phase where he comes to a fast stop. When he decelerates at a fast rate is where he's still having some discomfort and some issues. So again, we'll see a little bit tomorrow as we test him tomorrow to see where he's at. If he's not there, then he won't be involved. If he's ready, then maybe he's on the bench. So we'll see that a little bit tomorrow when we test him.
And if I can ask about Jonathan Klinsmann as well, he had an excellent game, obviously. What goes into your decision into maybe giving him another shot after he stands on his head and has a great game, or going back to Jonathan Bond? Is there a lot that you have to weigh whenever you come to these types of decisions?
No, not in the moment. I mean, I have a plan for this week, especially, and what Jonathan did the other night. Bondi has also done 7 times this year, to help us preserve points and make incredible saves. So I don't think any goalkeeper would want to, me to rip them out because a guy gets an opportunity to play and he does really well, and the next thing you know, that goalkeeper's on the bench. I would not be creating any sort of confidence in my 2 keepers. And so, Jonathan Klinsmann showed the other night, though, that he is very, very capable, which we knew. He was ready for the moment, and he'll get more opportunities, as I said to him. And both keepers are going to have to stay sharp, and both keepers are going to have to be ready, because this isn't a giveaway to anybody, but everybody has to be ready at any moment. And there is a competition. You saw a young man who's also capable and ready to play. So it's also a competition, just like every other position, that when it's all said and done and it gets to the playoffs, we have to put the best team on the field that can help us to win those games, and everybody's fighting for those spots. But I don't believe in flip-flopping goalkeepers, and Jonathan Bond didn't do anything wrong to be out of it. I gave him an opportunity to catch his breath, but I thought Jonathan Klinsmann was excellent, and he deserves that credit and that recognition.
Thanks, Greg.
Mm-hmm.
We'll go with Larry Morgan next. Larry, go ahead.
Hi, Greg. Thanks for taking our questions, as
Hi, Larry.
always. I got a 2-parter. One, when people talk about teams that watch in the Western Conference will talk obviously about you guys, Sporting KC, Seattle, but seems like very rarely to hear anybody talk about the Rapids. Why do you think that is, even though they're fourth in the conference and obviously a formidable side? And my second question is regarding you and Robin, who you've known a long time. What impressed you about him as a player and now as a coach?
First thing I think about the Rapids and sometimes just maybe getting the recognition or respect or whatever, it may be because they're just not considered a big budget club or has those big name players that often draw the attention of the MLS media or the websites or whatever MLS is doing. But they're a very good team. They're very well run. They work hard for each other. They know what they're trying to do. They don't have a lot of gaps in their performances. Most games they're mistake free. I think Robin would say that the times that they get themselves in trouble is if they make a silly mistake here or there, which we're all trying to combat. But by and large, they're very clear in what they're doing, and again, they're a team that can adapt in game and they're slippery because they're a team that's based on principles, not just based on one shape all the time every time they come out. So they force you to have to adapt, and they force you to have to deal with them, and that's not always easy. There's some teams in our league that they come out and every single game they play the same way, the same shape, the same thing, and you can really prepare for what they're going to do. And the Rapids give you some different looks. Sometimes it's 3, sometimes it's 4, sometimes it's a 3-5-2, sometimes it's a 3-4-3, and where your reference points are and who you have to defend sometimes gets a little unclear, and they take advantage of that. And so Robin's done a really good job with that group, and they deserve credit because the results they've been able to achieve through this year speak for themselves, but I also think the quality of their performances have been very solid. And so as far as Robin, he's I've known him since 1996, obviously playing next to him. For me, he was one of those players like Dan, who's my assistant, who as a young player, I just shut up and I just listened to those guys talk, and I tried to take in information, and always a cerebral player, always a hard-nosed player, always very clear on what he wants in a moment and how he's going to deal with the situations. And it's just kind of no nonsense. There's not a lot of emotion in it. It just has to be this way. And so when he knows how he wants to play, his team is going to play that way. And everybody's going to follow suit. And if you don't follow suit, you're not going to be there. So Robin is very clear-cut that way in how he's going to how he approaches his team. And he understands that he has a group that has no superstars and no super egos, and all of them have to buy in and do the work. And that really fits Robin's also the way he sees things and approaches things, and it's very, very black and white for him sometimes, and that really helps, I think, the way he works with his group. And so and as a player, just again, there's not a lot of things that Robin couldn't do. He was athletic. He could track guys down defensively. He was hard-nosed. He would he would go through the tackle sometimes. He was comfortable on the ball, played left foot, right foot, pretty equal. So there was a lot of things as a player that I had a lot of respect for Fraser. Obviously, he was Defender of the Year multiple times, and all his accolades were well deserved. But I think a lot of it comes with his mentality and also just his cerebral. His mindset as a player. He was a thoughtful guy as well on the field.
Thanks for your time.
He's going to owe me a lot of money for saying these nice things about him. He's going to owe me dinner tonight or something. I don't know.
Friendly wage or something?
Yeah.
Greg,
Is that everything?
thank you so much for your time.
Okay. All right. Thank you.